everyone, wherever they are, need to know, okay, limit it, but find the right volume that you need. It's better to change geographic area as long as you're fine, one, either buying there, or two, you don't have to be the buyer.
That's the thing. I remembered why I originally constrained it to the East Valley is because I'm treating myself like a homestead buyer, like a primary buyer. But I just sort of forgot to update my operating system in my head as an investor, where I do not have to live there.
I'm a real estate investor. I'm sharing everything I know about Subject to in a way that complete beginners understand. This guy is John Pratt, our fearless novice, diving headfirst into the world of Subject to real estate deals. Watch as I start him on the path. I'm your guide, Kyle Kargas, and this is Subject to Real Estate Secrets, the path from moron to millionaire. Welcome to Subject to Real Estate Secrets, the path from moron to millionaire. A Subject to deal is when you can go buy a home, take over the seller's existing mortgage payments so they can leave, move on, and you bought a home without involving a bank. John, we are back here, sitting here, going to have an amazing discussion today, but an important one. Because you've been doing the thing.
I've been doing the thing.
You've been doing the thing. You've been taking action. All these episodes, you've been pulling the list. You've learned how to do that. You've done the filtering. You've done this. You're doing the LOI reach out. Agents, you're calling them. Everyone knows from previous episodes, you've called. We went and looked at the condo, right? Like, John, you're doing the thing. John, okay, has John arrived? Everyone. Is John done? Is John there? I'm sorry to say, John, no. But in my eyes, I go, John, where are all the deals? If you're doing the thing, where's the deals? Where's all the money?
I gave you that deal.
You gave us the condo.
The condo.
And the condo's in the works. Okay, we'll keep people updated as that goes. Okay, good job on setting that up. Okay, John, that's one deal.
That's true. Okay.
One. Okay, you know what that's called, John? That's called One-Itis.
One-Itis. Okay.
You have One-Itis,
we've talked about
John.
this. Yes.
You have One-Itis, right? Congratulations. Now, really, you should pat yourself on the back to a certain degree.
Sure.
You did the thing. You reached a new level that you haven't reached before. However, it's so easy to pat that a little harder, right? And be like, oh, I'm doing the thing.
And rest and stop
and rest. And honestly, there's two things. One, there's the pullback of resting of, oh, I did the thing. But John, you haven't even made money yet. That deal actually has to happen to make money, right? And so we'll see how that goes. But you and anybody watching, is one deal going to change your life?
No, not by itself. No.
John, where are all the other deals? In all reality, John, this is one deal, not a lot of appointments. Catch us all up to speed. Tell us reality. What does it looking like for you right now? I want to know things like, John, how much time are you spending in this business? Because they probably either don't know or have forgotten. How many calls? Catch us up to speed.
Yeah, sure. So it's an hour a day minimum.
Okay.
Because I committed to that. I think episode 1 actually. Because I knew I knew that it would take at least an hour a day. Confession, in terms of why the deals aren't flowing in, is my lists. Like, maybe I'm doing something wrong because at the end of a day, maybe I'm only calling like maybe my list is 4 people that I actually blast out because I'm filtering so tightly that I'm only calling, like yesterday, I only called 4 people. 4 agents.
4 total.
Yeah.
So your whole list is 4 people?
My whole list of follow-up, my whole blast. So I blast out to 4 people after all the filters.
I'm sorry to say, John, 4 people. I thought you were going to say, I only called 4 people.
From my list.
From your list.
No, I called 100% of the people, but it's only 4. Yeah.
Dude, pat yourself on the back. Hey, I made all my calls.
All one of them, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, all 4, yeah.
Exactly. But we all have to understand, everyone watching and you, right, is okay, but what's the equation that actually equals the success, right? So it's not just, yes, I mean, it is action. And are you taking the action every day and working that hour, right? Are you making calls? Are you doing that? You can check all those boxes right now.
Sure, yeah.
But you still don't officially have something to show for it yet.
Yes.
And even if that one deal closes, that's one deal. You're not right. You can't leave your job. Some people watching right now are like, oh, I want to leave my job. That's what success looks like, is leaving my job or buying everyone's going to have a little different definition of how many
Sure.
houses and what they're doing, et cetera, right? So 4 houses, 4 calls a
For
day.
calls, yeah.
So the question is, like, even if we get this condo, how long is it going to take before you get the next one?
It could take months. It could take a year or more, or never, based on the volume. I
Right.
guess. So I guess what I think I need is to get a better list. Like I need to be able to make not a better list, but a bigger.
You need to reach out to more people because I'll be honest, how many appointments have you set for me so far?
3.
Like 3.
Yeah.
The fact that
Yeah.
the condo is even in the works with 3 calls
Is an
like,
anomaly.
Well, no, I mean you've made more calls than that. But
Yeah.
for you to set up 3 appointments and for one of those 3, that's
Yeah.
an incredible ratio. Okay? If that even happens.
If it happens,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, you can't count anything until things are all the way done. Okay? With a deal. I promise you. Okay? Ask me why I know.
Yeah.
Okay? So, that's still an incredible ratio. A lot of people watching might even be like, okay, well, that was really lucky. And I would agree. Actually, there was probably some really good luck if that one goes through, that out of your first 3 appointments, right, that one happens.
I could tell you my filters and see where I can open it up a little bit.
Tell me, because that at the end of the day, that is what we need to do. We
Okay.
need to expand your list. 4 people is not enough.
Yeah.
So we need to know, why are you only getting 4 people to watch? Tell me
Okay.
to watch,
So-
to call.
Sure. So I'm taking I'm closing my eyes here, envisioning what I actually do. So I go on batch leads.
Okay.
And then I pull up my local area. I don't really know Kansas or wherever the batch leads map starts me.
So you're here in
I
the
moved
Phoenix
to,
Valley.
moved to Phoenix so I can see Phoenix.
Okay, cool.
And then I go, okay, let me circle the East Valley with a little polygon, right? So it excludes all else,
Okay, so
just the East
you're
Valley.
drawing it on the map.
Yeah, I'm drawing a little polygon on the map.
Cool.
I also include maybe parts of Scottsdale, the East Valley.
Okay.
And then I go through the MLS listing should be active and not pending. I exclude pending.
Okay.
And then I don't have any property really filters. I usually filter for 5% equity or less. I'm sorry, 20% equity or less.
Okay.
And a 5% interest rate or less. The days on market is usually very high. I start maybe around 100.
At 100.
Around there, yeah.
Okay. So you have about 100. Okay, great.
I also cap that at around 400 sometimes because when I see something higher than that, it's usually artificially 400 days on market. It's
Right.
because somebody forgot to do something.
Sure.
But it's actually been sold 800 days ago or whatever. So
Yeah.
I filter out the super
Extreme.
high days on market.
The extremes. So with that, a couple things going through my head right now.
Okay.
One, I love the 100 days on market, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because what people need to remember is you're not just here to make calls, okay? You have 4 people to call every day. You don't want to call, even if your goal is to call 20,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to call 20 unmotivated people. That's a waste of time. It would be better to call the 4 really motivated people.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, there's a certain equation that if you're not calling enough, you can't get enough houses, right? Or you're going to go buy all year and only buy 1 or 2, okay? So we do need to get that up, which means we need to have you calling more motivated people. So the 100 days on market is fantastic. The filter on the housing, there is none on the type of house, things like that, besides single family.
Yeah, it's usually ending up 2, 3, maybe 4 beds.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine. I will say, out of everything you just told me, I pretty much know where your issue is.
Okay.
Your issue is going to be geographic. Okay? So you told me it's fine going into one location, like the Phoenix Valley. Okay? But remember, we're filtering it so much by everything else that you told me just the East Valley.
Yeah, I constrained it to just the East Valley.
You're talking just the East Valley,
Because that's where
right?
I live.
That's where you live. You want to invest in your backyard. I get that. A lot of people watching are probably going to feel the same thing. However, when you filter by so heavily with everything else, the one thing you need to remember when it comes to creative finance, whether it be subject to in this case or seller financing, those type of things, is the difference between buying traditionally on the MLS and buying creative is you actually don't get to pick the geographic location as, yes, you get to pick somewhat, but you don't get to be as picky. Okay. For example, if you want one little neighborhood, if you're a normal buyer, if you really want that neighborhood, it might take you forever, or you might not ever find a house that you can buy subject to or seller finance in an exact neighborhood gated community. You would have to probably buy that with cash or conventional. Okay, you don't get to be picky like that. You have to actually go to where the deals are. Okay, so that's what you have to do here. Is yes, there's some in just the East Valley, 4 based on that criteria.
Yeah.
You need to expand it and be like, okay, because what's wrong with the rest of the Phoenix Metro?
Really nothing. I'm just not as familiar. So that's only like less than a third of the population, I guess, locally is the East Valley. So I could triple it if I just open up the geography, the polygon.
At minimum.
Okay.
Right? At minimum. Because certain areas too, like it won't even be exactly a third, right? You might be it might be a third geographically of the area, but certain areas are also going to have more houses for sale. Right? Depending on what's going on in the marketplace. Okay? So I think there's your solution. You need to expand it. I'm not telling you. And now, could someone else, what if they're already doing their whole city, their whole metro area? Well, now, yes, check your other filters. But also, okay, is it time to, for you, I could see you wanting to grow in the future as well. You might say, okay, I need to go beyond the Phoenix Metro. Tucson would be the next largest area. Okay, the Tucson Metro. Are you going to add Flagstaff? Do you want to do, Prescott or, other areas like
Yuma
that?
and stuff.
Yuma, right? So everyone, wherever they are, need to know, okay, limit it, but find the right volume that you need. It's better to change geographic area as long as you're fine, 1, either buying there, or 2, you don't have to be the buyer. I know you want.
That's the thing.
I know you want to buy some properties, John, and you probably want to buy them East Valley.
That's the thing. I remembered why I originally constrained it to the East Valley is because I'm treating myself like a homestead buyer, like a primary buyer. But I just sort of forgot to update my operating system in my head as an investor.
Yes.
Where I do not have to live there. I can sell it, or I don't have to be the end.
Yeah, remember our chart that we had?
Yeah.
Hey, all the seats and everything, right? You're doing all this, and then it gets to dispo.
Yes.
And remember at dispo, I talked, you could be the end buyer for that.
Yeah.
Right? Or you don't need to be.
Yeah.
Right? I have a flip right now, right? I told you, off air, right? A fix and flip in Gilbert, Arizona that I got under contract this last week, right? Full intentions, put it under contract for a new fix and flip for us.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I just talked to a friend of mine who's also a fix and flipper here, and he's looking for another deal, and he's like, dude, I want that. So I fully intended to be the buyer, and who knows if it'll work out. Maybe I still will be.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, I want that. I quickly texted him. We figured it out, and he just told me, hey, I want it. I'll pay this price. I'm going today to go show him the house, right? So it might work out. So dispo on who's being the end buyer can change very, very quickly.
Because it was going to be you with that one.
It was going to be me, and now it's probably going to be him. Heck, it's almost like it's changing to him, but maybe he sees the house and says, no, thank you,
he
and
does.
then
It
it
goes
ends up
back to
being
you.
me,
Yeah.
right? So you never know, and honestly, sometimes you get under contract, and then the person doesn't perform. Now, I expect my friend to perform, right? But we might put something under contract, and it's like, oh, okay, we find an end buyer. Maybe I'm your end buyer for some of these. Maybe you're the end buyer. Maybe we wholesale it to somebody else, and maybe hopefully they close, or what if they fall through? Well, then we're like, now what? We got to go find another end buyer, or maybe you end up buying it, or I do.
Comes back.
And it comes back, and that wasn't the plan, and we change plans. Okay.
So I need to stop like limiting it to me being the end buyer.
Yes.
Because that might not even happen anyway.
Yep. Everyone wants to invest in their own quote backyard, and a lot of people would still argue that the Phoenix Valley is your backyard
that's
still.
fair.
But so that is your most limiting filter on there.
Okay.
So what I want you to do, I want you to go back. I want you to jump on, change that filter criteria. Let me know how much bigger that gets.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that's going to dramatically up, and they're still going to be motivated people.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. Hope so. Yeah.
Right. And then we would just wholesale more of those, then rather than buy them, or I'll buy them.
Okay.
Okay. So that I think is what we solved. Now, I want to touch a little bit deeper because that's probably your main issue.
Okay.
But everyone else watching, it could be any of the other filters.
Yeah.
Just be aware. You might have filtered the house too much. Some people might filter the age of the home, and that can be fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you don't have enough numbers, if you're like, hey, I only want 1985 and newer, well, you might want to talk to some other people, get some more confidence. What are you going to do if can you go to the 70s, 60s, 50s, right? Or I mean, I say that like because that's typically the additional age range here
yeah.
that you're looking for. But if you're doing it in other places, it might be freaking 1800s, 1900s, right? Who knows? So it could be the age of the home. So it could be any of those filters. The point is, at the end of the day, you're learning this. Get around other people like you and me. Ask me these questions. If you make this change and it's still not enough, I'm going to help you keep brainstorming, and we're going to look closer at it to get you a bigger list. Okay. At the end of the day, we need you to be sending a lot more LOIs, right, to make a lot more calls, to set up a lot more appointments.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's like baseball, right? Your appointments are putting the ball up. It's T-ball. Let's be real. I'm not that great at baseball. Okay. When you set the appointments, you're putting that ball on the tee.
Yeah.
Right. Right. It is called the tee, right?
Yeah. I'm in this right now.
Okay.
Yeah. We have practice tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So when you make that appointment, you're putting that ball there, right? You have asked them, are they interested in talking about this conversation, et cetera? And there should be motivation based on our list. So you're setting that ball up. Do you swing? Do you hit every ball?
No, they usually hit the tee, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the tee's being hit, right? And the ball's freaking sitting there on the tee, bro.
Yeah. It's right there. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's more like real baseball where the ball's being thrown. Right. And now, like, we're trying to put pieces in place to put it actually on the tee. So chances of a hit are higher, right? But, like, you still hit the freaking tee.
Yeah.
You still sometimes miss. When you hit the tee, do you even get on base every time? Do you hit is it a single? Is it a double? Is it a triple? Or is it a home run? It could be any of those, right? So how many times, every appointment, that's how I look at it. Every appointment, John, is you putting the ball up on the tee. I mean, you've only done that 3 times so far. Guess what? There are no runs if no hits are made.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? We got to get more appointments so you can have more deals.
Okay.
Okay? So that's your biggest homework right now. And I want you to report back next week. Let me know. Make the change, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
Awesome.
Okay? John, any other questions?
Nope, not right now.
All right. You and everybody else, get out of here.